Army got a clap just coming on. We're like, oh, we've got a spicy crowd. You guys are awake. This morning we had the sleepy crowd this morning, but you guys are already. How are you all doing? We've got some stragglers. Welcome at the top. Straggle on in. My name is Jessie. It's nice to see you all here today. We've got the amazing Elaine Kelly who's going to be conducting today. Yes. You know this crew. These are your National Symphony Orchestra, but let's give them a roar. All decked out in their beautiful section colours, the strings in blue. Actually, can we have a chasseurs? The winds are in green. Just to give us a little stand up, because it's hard to see them. Aww. And we've got the big, powerful brass team. Can I see you guys all stand up and show us your big, goldy silver instruments? Wow! Yes. And beautifully contrasted with the black backdrop, we've got our yellow percussion team. Yes! Woo! I love Andrea the harp moonlights between she just decides what team she wants to be on. So, are we ready for some seriously nerdy Tchaikovsky times? You've all chosen music, so I think you've chosen and you're into this. You up for it? I'm gonna throw you so many bits of information, you're probably gonna be like, but we're also sending you a recording, so you can slow it down, you can take it back in. So don't worry, if I'm going to fly through like chords, keys, harmonies, everything. If you don't get all of it, that's fine. I'm going to get you joining us a little bit as well. Welcome, stragglers. Nice to see you. Can we give them a round of applause? Hello, everybody. Oh, and they've gone to the wrong seat. Okay. So I'm going to assume you're all familiar with Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Is this correct? Actually, can I have a straw poll? Can I have give us a wave or a hands up if you're in your fifth year? Any fifth years? Give us a wave and hands up if you're sixth year. Excellent. Right. So we've got a load of fifth years at the front that are going to be like, I don't know what's happening. And you guys in the middle are going to be on this. Excellent. So if you don't know, anybody around, Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, we've got star-crossed lovers. They're on a bit of a kind of a tragic tale. They've got a pal, a sound priest, who's Friar Lawrence, and it all ends up in lots of dying. There's the TLDR of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Tchaikovsky, the Russian composer, and he's composing in the late Romantic period. So this piece is a brilliant example of loads of elements of Romanticism. And this is defo a question that comes up all the time. Is like, what are bits of Romanticism and what's in this one? So I'm going to go through a little whistle-stop tour. Before Tchaikovsky, you would have had a classical size orchestra. It would have sounded a bit like this. Tchaikovsky, he's an innovative man, and he says, I want all of the most modern and exciting instruments, so brace yourself, guys. We've got a tuba. We've got a harp. Keep holding them for me. Don't leave your colleagues on their own. We've got a cor anglais. Oh, beautiful sound. We've got a beautiful piccolo. So, I'd say if Tchaikovsky was writing today, there'd be all sorts of synthesizers and amazing stuff. But this is as good as he could get in the day. So instead of that smaller classical sound, now Tchaikovsky's Romantic Orchestra sounds like this. It's a great sound live in the room, isn't it? That's why you're here. So, as well as the size of this orchestra, we've got other elements of Romanticism in this piece. It's program music, of course. He's telling a story. He uses an extended sonata form. Give me sonata form, geeks in the house. Give me a little. Anyone into that stuff? One person just touched his hat. But other than that, we're going to go through this later on. It's a really good structure, though, and so many different composers used sonata form to scaffold their pieces. He uses an extended one. Very exciting. We'll talk about that later. And he uses beautiful, long, lyrical melodies. That's a romantic idea. And then he also creatively modulates between really wildly different keys. Get ready for this wildness. We could have a key like B minor. And then he goes to D flat major. At the time, that's shocking stuff, guys. To us, we're like, okay, two keys. But at the time, considering all of the history that goes before, Tchaikovsky is being really innovative and looking for the most expressive stuff that he can find to tell this story, which has three main musical themes. We're going to do a recap. I've written some very inspiring lyrics. going to help you like an annoying earworm. Think of me as an annoying kind of aunt or big sister who's just going to say stuff and it's going to be so annoying. Hopefully it'll stick in your brain, and then when you come to your exam you'll be like, oh, that really annoying person sang that, but actually it's here, it's still here. So we're going to get you to do this. Test your sight reading as well. First we're just going to do talk it. We're not going to add any pitches. We practice this. We're in 4/4. We've got some minims and crotchets. That's easy stuff. We're going to clap it and say the words at the same time. Get both sides of your brain going. Are we ready? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Friar Lawrence, this is his theme. 2, 3, 4. First in F sharp minor. 1, 2. Play on clarinets and the tunes. I'm so sorry, front 2 rows. Can you see it at all? Oh, you can chasseur us or something if you want. You probably don't want. But we're going to send you the recording of these afterwards as well if you're feeling lost. So it'll be in your head though. Friar Lawrence, this is his theme. First in F sharp minor, played on clarinets and the bassoons. For this lovely front 2 rows, can we help them out? Can we sing it with them, with the orchestra? We're going to sing it really loud just to teach these guys at the front. Could we have the starting note? Oh, Amelia, thank you. La, can I hear you sing la? La. Actually, without them, let's sing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Friar Lawrence. This is his theme. This is his theme. First in F sharp minor. First in F sharp minor. Played on clarinets and the bassoons. Played on clarinets and the bassoons. I think I'm going to get a Grammy for that. Shall we do it with these guys as well? Okay, so we've got 2 clarinets, 2 bassoons, and about 1,500 humans. Are we ready? Friar Lawrence, this is his theme. First in F sharp minor, played on clarinets and the bassoons. Beautiful singing, everybody. Thank you very much, woodwinds. Our next theme is our strife theme. Before we do any melody or words, I want to test your percussive skills. Should we clap it? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty good. Let's hang some words on it. When we hang words on a rhythm, it really, really helps. So I'll do it once. It goes strife, D minor, feuding families, dotted rhythms and some syncopation. It's a banger, isn't it? It's a tune. Should we just chant it? No melody yet. 1, 2, off we go. Strife, D minor, feuding families, dotted rhythms and some syncopation. Now I'm doing it slow and easy. Should we do it with the orchestra? It's much faster. Can I hear what's our starting note? B. Can we all sing that B? B. It's our tonic of B minor. Okay, we're ready, Elaine. 2, 3, 4. Strong B minor. Big families. With dotted rhythms and some syncopation. Nice. Very good. And then we've got our third, much more contrasting theme, which is our love theme. Welcome even more stragglers at the back. Hello. You've missed the recap of the 2 themes, but you'll catch up, I'm sure. You'll get to do it a few times. We've got our love theme, which is with the cor anglais and the violas. I think we could almost sing it. Do you know the tune? Let's try and just sing it straight away with the orchestra. Now, please have my starting note, Jenny. La, can we sing la together? La. So we're going to sing love played on. You can do it on the cor anglais. It's nice and slow. Let's try it all together. The whole orchestra. Love played on the cor anglais with violas, in D flat major, using music. Nice. So we've got our 3 themes. Don't worry, you'll get the video. You get to sing it along at home. 3 is our number to hold on today. We have 3 themes. Each of them is played 3 times when they're introduced. Often in your exam, you get shown a little snippet of it and you're told, which time is this? So I'm going to try and pick out and show you the individual things that make each iteration of the theme recognizable. We're in a whole scaffolding of extended sonata form. Structured geeks, this is time for you. Tell me, sonata form, what are the 3 bits of sonata form we have? Exposition. Say it with more apathy and less enthusiasm. Exposition. With loads of enthusiasm. Exposition! Yes! You're my friend. Exposition. Then we've got development. Yes! And then recapitulation. I live for this stuff, guys. Don't yuck my yum, okay? So we have an introduction and a coda that bookends this. So now we've got extended sonata form. Intro, exposition, development, recap, coda. Here's our structure. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. At the beginning, the introduction of the whole piece, Friar Lawrence is going to enter. So let's give him the respect and silence that he deserves. We're in F sharp minor. Clarinets are on A clarinets, which are slightly bigger and give a darker sound. They play with the bassoons. So this is a homophonic texture, a melody line with a harmony. Sounds like monastic plain chant, a medieval chorale. It's slow, dark, foreboding. All is not going to end well. The strings enter from basses all the way around to the first violins. And then it reverses. It looks like a pyramid shape on the score. They play rising one-note dissonances with accents and chromaticism, giving a feeling of anxiety. And then we move to A-flat major. A D-flat pedal in the bass, that's the 4th degree of A-flat major. Flutes and clarinets take on the suspensions and the dissonances, and the cellos play these flowing 4-note descending patterns. And then we modulate to this glorious F minor sound world where woodwinds play despairing, crunchy, augmented dissonance, and the harp spells out beautiful F minor broken arpeggios with a little bit of hope in them. So we have despair in the winds, and then hope in the harp. And this pattern repeats, you guessed it, 3 times. Let's stop there with those pizzicatos. This seemingly innocuous link with the strings playing blum, 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 plucking the strings. It actually uses Friar Lawrence material. How? I hear you screaming with excitement. I'm going to ask Emilio to play the Friar Lawrence theme from bar 1, and I'll show you. I could listen to that all day. That's very beautiful. Now can I ask Emilio, would you mind playing just the 3rd bar with some staccato and a bit faster? Blum, blum, blum. Can you give him a round of applause for his glorious clarinet playing? So bear that. Bum, bum, bum in Friar Lawrence. And we're going to pick up at 38 where we left off. Friar Lawrence. And now we get the theme again with a fuller orchestration for the 2nd time. Instead of just clarinets and bassoons, we've got flutes, oboes, cornblay and clarinet with these scale-like pits accompaniment. So we have a contrapuntal texture. We're going to end on this imperfect cadence, and then there's another pyramid-shaped bridge section of anguish strings which leads us to bar 61. The descending 4-note cello motif we had earlier is now in the oboes, bassoons and violas. The D flat pedal is now a C pedal in the basses and the cellos. And the violins sustain these beautiful long notes. Expanded instrumentation, deepening and thickening the texture. We then get a repeat of the harp and woodwinds, despair and hope link before the start of trouble and the entry of the timpani. We get a quickening of tempo. Poco a poco stringendo, accelerando. And we hear Friar Lawrence's entry for the third time, trying more and more desperately to plead for calm among these feuding families, the Montagues and the Capulets. This time, there's an anxious string tremolo accompaniment. Can I hear what a G sharp is? Can you all sing me la? Could we have just the strings and the timps? And we're going to see if we can fit in Friar Lawrence there. Can we try and sing it? It's hard without the melodic help. Should we do it again? Everybody, we're going to do it. Could I hear our starting note? La. Friar Lawrence, this is his name. It's really hard in that texture to actually pick out the melody, isn't it? But now we're going to hear the whole thing. We'll hear the melody a little bit more clearly. This third entry leads us to antiphonal call and response, pleading between the woodwinds and the horns. But instead of launching straight into strife, Tchaikovsky continues to build the tension. And for the third and final time, we hear this anxious, pyramid-shaped transition again. And this time, a crescendo is going to slowly build. And we're going to get antiphonal punches being thrown between the woodwinds and the strings. Before we hit the exposition and the strife theme. So this is the beginning of the exposition within our sonata form. Exposition, development, recapitulation. We've just had Tchaikovsky's sonata form extension, the introduction where we met the first of our three themes, and now we meet strife, B minor, feuding families, with dotted rhythms and some syncopation. I'm a genius. Tchaikovsky uses so many different musical elements to depict drama and aggression in this strife theme. So we just heard we've got everyone playing forte, we're in a dark B minor key, but underneath that we've got loads of different stuff that leads to this anxious feeling. We've got syncopation, we've got jagged rhythms, we've got clashing harmonies, and particularly, I really nerdily love this. There's a sneaky F sharp, and do you remember F sharp is our Friar Lawrence key? And he's using the F sharp to make a dissonance in this strife theme. So could I just hear bar 1, 1, 2, the strings? So we have strife, B minor, so the harmony is B minor, E minor, and then in that E minor, he's hiding an F sharp. So that Friar Lawrence key is creating a clash and a dissonance within strife. Can we hear it a tiny bit slower? Just hold the first chord. So that's our B minor chord, and then we have an E minor chord. Could my F sharps play a little more? La, that doesn't fit in E minor, and if they go away and we just have E minor, and then F sharp again? Yes. Incidentally, actually, in like loads of amazing R&B and pop stuff, that ninth becomes the tell of something a really cool sound. But in this, we're using the ninth as a really, really clashy sound. And I just love that it's F sharp coming from Friar Lawrence. He's so clever. So, Tchaikovsky continues his favourite antiphonal writing, a big feature of both Romanticism and his compositions in general. He passes motifs back and forth between different instruments to create an anxious, destabilizing effect. In the accompaniment, we've ascending and descending semiquaver passages in the strings that throw our ears from left to right, so we don't quite know where we are. We have an anxious antiphony, and it builds. He juxtaposes two whole sections, so not just instruments, but whole sections. The winds with the piccolo right on top and the strings egging each other on with this rising, offbeat semitone motif. So we've got more instability then that he adds with the violins throwing semis back and forth between first and second. Then he adds a canon on top of all of this for more instability. So there's tunes starting, and then the lower strings and the winds are altered, playing an altered kind of punchier version of strife, half a bar apart from each other, first in D minor, then in G minor. Here's this. Syncopated horns are going to add more instability. And then it's time for the percussion section to really shine. We would play a game. You all, of course, know that those syncopated chords are B minor second inversion chords, don't you? You definitely do. We're going to play a game and see if we can play along with the orchestra. So, my stars are the beats that you're going to clap on. We're going to start off a little bit slower without the band. We're just going to be us a band. I'm going to count you in. So we've got one ands like we're clapping on the quaver. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Wait, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Mind the rest. Up. Not bad. A little bit kind of. Oh. So let's bring a little bit more energy and get the orchestra playing with us too. Are we ready? Elaine's going to count us in an empty bar. They're going to play on the downbeat. We're going to play on the fourth beat. Are we ready? I'm so sorry, team. Again, if you want to chassoo us, you're so welcome to.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes! Nice job. So after those jarring B minor second inversion chords, with cymbals, they're playing the starring role, metal on metal, the clashing of swords, we get a climactic third iteration of the strife theme, this time with a much thicker orchestral texture, but we'll save that up for the final full performance. Really blow your head off with that one. And we're going to jump now to Tchaikovsky's transition out of the exposition's first subject strife and into, what's the next theme? Love. Yes, so let's hear this transition into love. We still have these 3-note antiphonal patterns, but here we're going to start to settle harmonically on a pedal of A in the basses, preparing our ears for the harmony that we expect to go to the dominant of D major. We hear solo bassoon, solo basses. Deep rumblings. There's still an air of trouble about, and this A pedal is going to shift suddenly. It's going to go down one semitone to A flat. We're going to settle. Now in D flat major, and the love theme. Let's talk about orchestration. Why is this so gorgeous? Tchaikovsky is a master orchestrator, and these instruments and the way particularly that they play it was chosen really, really carefully. He could have had that tune in his head and said, we could get a flute to play it a couple of octaves higher. It would sound like this. But he thinks actually the first time we hear this, I want this to be gut-wrenching. I want this to be really human. So he picks an instrument that has a very, very special sound, the cor anglais, and has the instrument playing in a comfortable range. It's kind of a range that most humans can sing. And then he matches it with violas in the same octave. So we've got two voices singing as one. Additionally, when he brings the violas in, he could have had them play without the mutes. But instead he asks them to use mutes, which are these tiny gadgets that they put on top of the strings that creates this magic veiled muffled sound. And all of these choices add up. There are so many possible accompaniments that he could have chosen. He could have had light tremolo strings. He could have had a chorale of sustained trombones. He could have had 12 triangles. But what does he use? He uses the warm glow of syncopated horns. And then he thinks, okay, we need some stability for this syncopation. Let's add basses and celli, pizzicato. And then he thinks, oh, I might need to fill out the colour a little bit more. Let's add a bassoon. And this feels like a nice, gentle place upon which we can place these beautifully matched sounds, the cor anglais and the muted viola, to complete a perfect orchestration. Is our secondary love theme, Juliet's contrasting voice to Romeo's cor anglais and viola sound. Pulsing, divided violas spell out D flat major, accompanying this swaying muted violins, who move in surprising intervals. They move in a diminished fifth, which is a tritone known as the devil's interval, and a diminished seventh, historically used to convey intense and troubled emotion. It builds, and the violins rise in pitch, a crescendo, until we get the theme again for the second time. So now the second time has thicker orchestration and can be sung on the flute, with the oboe supporting. The horn is playing this beating heart, falling second motif. The second time we have two bassoons giving us a sustained bass line. So all of these details and differences are what you will be able to kind of tell on an exam. Where are we in the score at this exact moment? From here, Tchaikovsky allows the exposition material to build and build for a final time, and we hear the love theme for the third time, played on flute, oboe and clarinet. And this time, instead of just bassoons to fill out those sustained notes, he has a bass trombone to give even more depth. So before Tchaikovsky gives us a break from all of the lovey-dovey stuff, we hear a final winding down, a mini coda of the exposition. We have solo moments from the bassoon, who's in dialogue with the upper strings. And the cor anglais is going to chat with the lower strings. And all throughout these dreamy descending chords on the harp. So now we've developed everything. It's time, we've exposed the exposition. It's now time for our development. Tchaikovsky has laid out his three themes for the story, and in true sonata form style, it's time to play around with them and develop and be as clever as he can. We have snippets of rhythmic motifs that bounce all over the place, starting with Strife and Friar Lawrence combined. patterns back and forth at each other. Let's have a look at that a little bit closer. We've got a seriously polyphonic texture. The F sharp pedal spells out Friar Lawrence's original key. On top we hear Friar Lawrence in the horn, and then the second violins are playing an upside down version of that strife melody. Let's just zoom in and have just those instruments. So, meanwhile, the strife rhythmic motifs are going to interject. Strife B minor. Violins are going to do that old chestnut of syncopation, accompaniment that we've already seen in the exposition. Friar Lawrence is going to be passed between the horns, the winds, and the strings. Yes, he keeps playing this game of jumbling these themes together, while he's going to modulate up to G minor from F sharp and build a crescendo, and then we get to bar 3-3-1. Before we hit the climactic moment, we hear a snippet of love. Can you hear the love? Love played on the choral. It's really hidden. I love this sort of amazing nerdy detail. Inside this strife theme, there is actually some love in the first violins. Can we hear just the first fiddles and bar 3-3-1? La 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 la. Now can we have it played a tiny bit slower? And maybe could we add in an F sharp passing note and play it a little bit more romantically? There's our love theme. I absolutely love that. And the fact that it's the F sharp turning up. Friar Lawrence's key is the reason that we can add love into that and make it link up. And that's what gives us our dissonance in our strife. I love the connectedness of it. So he finishes the development with a return to the violent, stabbing, syncopated B minor second inversion chords before we tumble into the recap. And it's time for those of you who have rested their heads to sit up a little bit more, and we're going to do my next challenge is we're going to clap those stabs, and then we're going to sing strife B minor, feuding families. Can I just see my top level? Can you just give me a wave and prove that you're actually awake and alive? Hello, and can I see the back of the stalls? Can I see a sort of a Mexican wave of hands? Well, some people are genuinely asleep. And coming forward, hello, okay, we're here, very nice. Let's give this a go. So, we're going to clap, and then we're going to sing strife B minor. Are we ready?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Some recap. We've had strife and Friar Lawrence played inside out and back to front in that development, and strife kicks off the recapitulation with a bang, and after some intense full orchestra strifing we gear change and we modulate to D major. Coming. We all want to hear it, the recap of the love theme. But it's not quite as we wanted. Tchaikovsky starts with the second subject. Instead of strings, we've got oboes and clarinets playing this theme, with violins doing their favourite destabilising passing semiquavers around. And then we're finally treated to a glorious return of the main love theme, but not in D flat major, in a sunny, brighter D major, with even more hope before the tragedy. The strings and the piccolo play the melody, not the cor and the viola this time, with triplet woodwind accompaniment and the horn playing a soaring counter melody. it just heart-wrenchingly beautiful. Tchaikovsky takes these musical elements, repeated accompanying triplet quavers, the soaring melody, his favourite syncopation, and he moves the story forward. And we're going to pick up where Tchaikovsky gets creative again with all this material to depict the drama and emotional ins and outs of the story of Romeo and Juliet, love turning to tragedy. Fragmented versions of love in the horns and the woodwinds. Heart-throbbing syncopation leading love theme. But this time, it's quickly swiped away by strife. Wins the battle, and this, of course, is the way the story goes. Love doesn't win out in Romeo and Juliet, it ends in tragedy. The climactic final strife moment of bar 473, where every single instrument is marked triple forte, the fairy tale of love and romance is going to dissolve. Dominant F sharp with the timpani announcing tragedy. Arriving finally at the coda and the tragic and needless death of our young lovers. The timpani beats out a funeral march full of triplet semiquavers. Underneath, the tuba is playing an eternally long, almost life-threateningly asphyxiating pedal note on B, while the double basses support the pedal with pizzicato. He's still playing that B. The cellos and the bassoon lament a sort of distorted version of the love theme. Dark instruments, dark colours, for a dark ending to this story. Our star-crossed lovers are dead, and now the story is concluded. But not before Friar Lawrence has his sad chorale-like lament in the winds and the horns. In this story, he remains alive. So he gets a moment for reflection, sacred, contemplative music, a lighter orchestral texture compared to the intensity of strife and all that came before. Once Lawrence has lamented, the harp reprises the rising optimistic broken chords, while the strings play a final tribute to the love theme. Violently angry, strife-like, punching tonic chords in B major, exclaiming the futility of the needless loss of Romeo and Juliet. We've taken the tragic tale apart, and it's time to put it back together and for me to get out of the way. I really hope that before anything else, being in the room with this live powerhouse of sound has really brought this music to life. I hope it's been helpful for your revision, and I wish you so much luck in your exams. I hope also that you look after your mental health and you take time and go into nature and rest and sleep and have fun with your pals as well, because exams are important, but you're more important. So I'm going to leave you with a full playthrough of Tchaikovsky's Romeo and Juliet. My name's Jessie. Please give a giant round of applause for Elaine Kelly and the NSA.